In this video, we're going to take a look at some reactions to Desmond and Kristy Sarah Scott's divorce announcement, but first, let's take a look at their story. Influencer couple Desmond and Kristy Sarah Scott have announced that they are divorcing, and fans did not see this coming. Soon after, Desmond shared a public message taking responsibility, apologizing, and stressing that their two sons will always come first. What makes this breakup even more surprising is that just last year, the couple celebrated a major wedding anniversary and described themselves as best friends since their teen years. Their relationship was often portrayed as fun, lighthearted, and built on laughter, which is why so many followers are shocked by the news. With millions watching their every move online, this moment is a reminder that social media only shows part of the story. As they move forward, both Kristy and Desmond are asking for privacy while focusing on co-parenting and healing during a very public chapter of their lives. Now let's see what the internet is saying about the Scotts. And be sure to like this video and subscribe for more reactions.
Here's my take on it as somebody who's also a content creator, who also has been together since we were 14 and 15, also been together for 16 plus years, right? One, he did communicate to her, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. He cheated on her, and they're making him out to be a villain. They're making her out to be that she brought it on herself. She was overly corny and obnoxious and loud, whatever. If he communicated that he wanted to break up, that he wanted to separate, it's either fight or flight. It's, okay, we need to deep dive into this relationship, see what the problem is, solve it, fix it, and move on for another 50, 16, 20 years, whatever. Or let's go ahead and end this now, because
I'm so glad I see a lot of people on my For You page talking about this Desmond and Kristy situation from a different point of view, because like I honestly agree with them. I don't think Desmond is a cheater. I don't know for sure, but I cannot see that man being a cheater at all. And then on top of that, it's like the document said allegedly cheating. So I don't think he cheated for real. I think he was just trying to get out of the marriage because he did tell her he wanted a separation. I feel as though Kristy did not want that separation, which is honestly like, it's not wrong. Like, they've been together for 14, 15 years. So, of course, she doesn't want to get rid of that. But I feel like they just outgrew each other a little bit. Like, you could tell in the content from, like, last year a little bit. Like, I was looking at a couple videos because it popped up on my For You page. You could just tell he was out of it. He was always in his phone. I don't think he was in his phone cheating. I just think he was disconnected because Desmond never gave, like, he wanted to be on social media all the way. Like, full time, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, it's like, I know people say like money buys you happiness or whatever, and it's like it can only buy you so much happiness. They have everything they would want in life, so it's like they have nothing else to conquer, you know, like, you get what I mean? Like, they have nothing else to prove. They bought a house, they got their dream cars, they got everything they want, they got their two boys, they got a beautiful family. So it's like life can get boring. And yes, I know that sounds a little toxic, but like I feel like he was just genuinely bored or genuinely irritated or just genuinely done. And it's like they didn't get to experience life alone at all. They got together at 14, 15, and they've been together ever since. And that's been like 14, 15 years ever since. And it's like, damn, like I've been with this girl all my life. I went through puberty with her. I went through, you know, high school graduations, college graduations, every business aspect, everything with her. And it's like, yes, that sounds like the true love story, but it's like they never had time apart. So it's like they need that time apart so that they can actually come back stronger. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get a divorce. I feel like they're just going to take time apart and then they're just going to get back together, hopefully. So I hope that happens, and I hope that they remain happy for real. And also, if that did happen to Kristy, I do feel sorry for her.
I didn't know that Desmond and Kristy Scott were Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Which adds a different dynamic and a different perspective in regards to their divorce, because from what I've learned the last couple of days, if you do not follow their guidelines and parameters, you'll be excommunicated. Marriage is for life, and that the only circumstance where you can get divorced is unless the individual cheated, one of the parties cheated, and there's no reconciliation. That's it. That's the only time divorce is allowed within that faith, or you'll get excommunicated. So knowing that, people keep projecting Christian values onto their divorce versus looking at it from the lens as a Jehovah's Witness. It's like, y'all hoes are projecting hard. I mean, the amount of think pieces that I've seen regarding oh, he's jealous of her. Men are always embarrassing women. You know, as soon as your career is done, a man is always going to try to sabotage what you got. And I'm like, did it ever occur? Did it ever occur that maybe, just maybe, Kristy might have been so insufferable that he opted to cheat in order for him not to be excommunicated? Because he wanted to maintain his faith. He chose his faith over staying married to someone who was making him miserable. Point number 2 is, you can tell that the women online's ego is so inflated that they can't seem to conceptualize and grasp that maybe a man can genuinely be unhappy in his marriage. But she's beautiful, she's hot, she's successful, and so what? And I keep saying this over and over again. A lot of you women think that all you need is just to be pretty with a nice body and that's it. A lot of y'all got some nasty ass personalities and characters. Did it ever occur that with all of the shit that she's been showing us online, that shit got old and tired? And you can see that he checked out. It's very obvious and apparent that they checked out. That maybe he was just simply unhappy. What makes the whole situation so hypocritical is if the situation was in reverse, where he was embarrassing her, he was disrespecting her, he was humiliating her, y'all hoes would be doing all sorts of think pieces talking about, oh, this is abuse, you deserve better than that, you should leave, this, that, and the third, right? The number of times that I've seen women come up on the internet when another woman posts how unhappy she is in her marriage, you should leave, you should leave, you should leave. But let a man show, he ain't even have to say it, he is showing he is unhappy in his marriage. Well, you need to communicate better, you need to endure, you need to do this, that, and third. And it's like, what's the difference between him and Cardi B? And then y'all sit there and go with the gaslighting, talking about, well, cheating shouldn't be the option. Based off of their faith, and I'm looking at it from the lens of their faith and knowing what the rules are of their faith, he probably did communicate that he wanted out of the marriage. He probably communicated that he was unhappy and she did not fucking care. The same way y'all don't care. And he was like, well, fuck it, I'll cheat. Maybe he didn't cheat and said that he cheated in order for him to get out of that marriage. Did it ever occur that maybe she was so insufferable and he was so unhappy and he did not want to risk getting excommunicated that he just said, yeah, I cheated, and admitted it? He didn't get caught. He admitted it. Maybe he didn't cheat. Maybe he just said he cheated just so that way he could be free of that marriage. I know what it's like to be married to someone that makes me perpetually miserable. But the fact that women can't seem to grasp and comprehend that a man can be unhappy with a woman, especially if she's beautiful and successful, is just lost on you. At the end of the day, it's all speculation in regards to who did what and why. You know, they only show us this much. I caught on that there was something amiss with the marriage months ago, when they stopped wearing their wedding bands, when she was attending all of those events solo, his micro expressions where he was just so over it, the way she was treating him, it was compounded. So I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised at the same time. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's their lives. It's easier for him to either admit that he cheated or he did cheat it because he'll be fine. He'll recover. Versus if it was the other way around where she cheated, she wouldn't recover. Her brand and her career would be negatively affected. Men will easily bounce back. They can kind of suffer the brunt of it. Desmond is an attractive man. He is successful in his own right. He'll be all right, you know? One thing for sure, two things for certain. Divorce is rough, regardless on if you're the man or the woman. It is rough. It is a roller coaster of emotions, and they do deserve privacy so they can process all of that.
If you didn't know, Kristy and Desmond are or were Jehovah's Witnesses. And as an ex-JW, I'm going to give you my point of view on their divorce from a religious standpoint. This post, we see proof that they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Nobody be out here saying serving Jehovah if you're not a Jehovah's Witness. She made that clear as stated here in this post, so don't come for me. I will say, first of all, I do not think either of them are still Jehovah's Witnesses. And I don't think they have been for a while because I haven't seen them mention being a Jehovah's Witness in a very long time. So in this religious organization, or I actually call it a cult, they do encourage the youth to get married early so you don't commit sin, which is premarital sex, right? So you have a lot of people getting married very young, just like they did. I believe they got married when they were teenagers, like 18 or 19. You are not encouraged to get divorced unless your partner dies or there's infidelity. Hello, does that sound familiar? The key factor here is that they do disfellowshipping in this religious organization, which means you will become publicly shunned if you break one of the biblical commandments. The way you get publicly shunned is only if you are a baptized Christian, which most people in this religion that were born and raised in it are a baptized Christian by the age of freaking 12, 13, 14, because it is so highly encouraged. So now that process of getting disfellowshipped, which means that you committed a sin, right? So now you're getting publicly shunned. People are not allowed to talk to you. Your own family, if they're baptized, also should not be talking to you. And a lot of people do not want to get divorced from their partners because they don't want to get embarrassed publicly. Being disfellowshipped publicly is a humiliation ritual. That's why I believe these shame tactics and control tactics they use is such a horrible way to bring people into a relationship with God, right? I almost find it contradictory to having a relationship with God, but that is my opinion. I have been out of this cult for about 5-6 years, but it has come to my understanding that they no longer practice this disfellowshipment process to this extent. However, we're talking about this couple that was married 12 years ago. You know for dang sure that was being implemented then, okay? This has been a very recent change. Given all these factors, getting married young, being a Jehovah's Witness, divorce not being encouraged, not wanting to publicly humiliate yourself or your family, I can see why this can be a shock to many, but I can also see why this is not shocking at all. There is a risk to getting married super young, okay? I think everybody knows that, and that's why a lot of people that do get married young statistically are proven to divorce. I don't think it's that much of a shocker. Desmond also mentioned in his story that he was thinking of getting divorced, but she was trying to work it out with him. It would make sense why the infidelity is what led to the divorce, because Kristy and them both having these values in their head, he probably saw infidelity as the only way out, and she saw it as like it would take that for B to actually divorce you. Do not know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know how long they've realized maybe they weren't for each other, maybe it was both partners, because you are just so in fear of being banished and shunned and having this guilt complex, you know, this imposter syndrome that you develop, right? Look up religious trauma syndrome. It is a real thing. My point in saying all of this is that I do feel for her. I feel for them both as a couple. Anything that's public is a lot and crazy to go through, but this is just the basics of like growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. I know that did affect their relationship as to why they probably got divorced later than what would have happened normally. Also speaking from experience, having been disfellowshipped myself and shunned when I was 15 years old, it's not a fun experience, and literally people would turn against you and not want to look at you, even if you got reinstated, right? Which is this process of coming back to the church on good terms. People would still treat you differently. So I can see why this divorce probably was prolonged and why it took so long to even happen. But I do think both of them are now grown adults. I believe she's also in a different headspace than she was 10 years ago, and I think she is going to be fine. And I do think ultimately if this was their decision, that they're doing it for the best interest of themselves and their children. But if you have your own point of view, if you're also an ex-JW or a current JW, please give me your opinion on this matter. I would love to hear it.
Y'all not going to agree with me about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If I was Kristy, I would not have ended that marriage with him because he cheated on her. I'm talking about Kristy and Desmond, the superstar social media couple where, you know, they did all those funny videos together, have gained millions of views. And I'm clear that millions of dollars too, judging by the house they live in. They basically have built this aspirational couple brand based on them doing these funny videos. They're very attractive as a couple, cute little kids, beautiful house, all this other stuff, right? And then we got surprised last week that, I think it was like a week ago, that she filed for divorce saying he cheated on her, and that's what made the marriage irreconcilable. I don't think that was the best decision. I'm going to tell you why. And let me relate this to y'all, because at the end of the day, what she chooses to do is her choice. But let me relate this to y'all, okay? You don't ever blow a bag or put your bag up in question over some man's mistakes. Why should you have to suffer and or have an uncertain financial future because of what he did. I'm not saying forgive and forget, but what I'm saying is this. And this is the same thing I tell to my coaching clients, okay? I have clients who come to me all the time, and someone will tell me he cheated on me, I'm ready to go. My first question is this. Are you financially impacted by this man in any way, shape, or form? Does he take care of you all, or do you all own a business together where him not being there would affect you financially? Does he have the ability, or his presence or lack thereof have the ability to affect you financially in any way, shape, or form? If the answer is yes, then plan carefully before you go. Because it's easy to file for divorce, it's easy to walk out the door, but it's not always easy to rebuild what you built together. And that's even more stress, right? Feelings are not facts. And yes, it feels horrible to be cheated on, but the reality is this. I can speak for myself. I would not have known who either of them were if it was not for their couples videos popping up on my page. And me saying, oh my God, they're such a cute couple. Let me watch them, right? Now, she's got a bigger social media presence than him, but we've seen this happen before. Couples break up and their individual income after the breakup is far less than the collective income that they had together when they were together. I mean, look at like the Ace family. You remember them at the Ace family? They were huge, but then when they broke up, I'm not saying they should stay together, but I'm just saying it's a different life for both of them at this point in time, right? Who I think did it right was Will and Jada. I really think they did it right. They had been living separately, and this is what they said, that they've been living separately for years, for a long time, long before we found out about her entanglement with August Alsina, living separately, right? Why did they not break up? Well, I don't know. I would assume because it's, the financial enmeshment of their lives, but also because as a brand together, this is my opinion, as a joint brand, it's just far more powerful to be together. Just live in separate households, date whoever y'all want separately, live your lives. It just is what it is, And then after everything wears down and people have become more accustomed to not seeing y'all together, then you break up. It's not a big fanfare. It's not a big spectacle. That's what I would have done if I was Kristy. When I found out that man was cheating on me, which let's be real about it, okay? Infidelity rarely just happens by accident. Infidelity normally is the direct byproduct of a broken relationship system. So with that understood, even though she may have just realized he was cheating, there was probably a broken relationship system happening long before this. So it's not like she can say, or he can say, our relationship was perfect, and then he just went out and cheated. That was rarely the case, right? So when I started to see that relationship fracturing, we would have had to sit down with a lawyer. We would have to sit down with a lawyer to be like, hey, our relationship ain't working. We need to get some things on paper around confidentiality and duties to this business here. Meaning that if he going to go out and do whatever, I'm going to go out and do whatever. It's confidential. Anyone, they got to sign this good NDA too. So they agreeing to keep our business private too. He stay at a separate place and I stay at. We come together for production. Doopy doo. And when we finally do break up, this will be the division of assets. And while we are working that out and winding it down, I will be starting as many side businesses as possible, put myself out there more and more, decreasing his presence on camera more and more, so that by the time the breakup is announced, not only has the bag that I was making with him been replaced, but also people are not going to miss him because they've already been seeing him less and less on camera. I don't know. Maybe I'm not like a big hopeless romantic. I'm really not. I'm a very pragmatic person. And I don't care who the man is and how much I love him. I never, ever have loved a man more than I love my bag. And therefore, I would never allow my heartbreak over a man to affect my bag. Now, I know y'all saying she gonna be fine. She got followers. She got this. I hope and pray for that too, because I love watching her. This is nothing against her in any way, shape, or form. And really nothing against him either. Couples break up all the time. They was never my relationship goals, because I've been in production and entertainment for a long time. And baby, I can tell you this. What happens on camera is not always a reflection on what's happening behind cameras. Okay? Just because a couple looks good together don't mean that they are good together. It is what it is, But I'm just telling y'all for your own lives, okay? Before you get up and leave a man, make sure you got your stuff put together first. Make sure you good. And I'm not saying she's not good, right? But make sure you good. Do not allow a man's messed up choices to throw your stuff off or put your situation in question. Child, life is expensive, honey. All right? He want another girl. Enjoy her. I'll pack your bag to go see her. Okay? But let's not mess up this bag.
Desmond Scott, The men have been begging me to do an unbiased marketing video, so here you go. You can step into my office, but you gotta leave your shoes outside, and you can't have none of the snacks because those are for the kids and you're not with them. No shade. Y'all know how I feel. I don't condone cheating and I think it's wrong. If you didn't want to be in that house, you should have left before traumatizing that lady and y'all's 2 children. Anyway, moving on. Firstly, I don't want to hear from you for 6 months. You've already made your statement. If you have any brand deals, go ahead and wrap them up. 6 months, I want quiet. Then from there, I want 2 faceless businesses. Your gift is cooking. Now I need you to show us how good of a cook you really are. I want a food truck, so you're feeding the people, giving them finger foods, giving them food that's easily travelable. And then I want a brick and mortar upscale restaurant. How creative can you really be? How good is your food really when you cannot be the face of it? You are doing the cooking, but I want the food to speak for itself. Next on the docket, Desmond, I don't care who it is. Whatever woman you are with next, you cannot be with her publicly. I'm sorry. Because any woman you date, they're going to assume she is who helped you cheat on your wife. Whether it is true or not, they are going to immediately attach infidelity to whatever relationship you get in next. So if you want a more low-key, a more scaled-back life, if you notice we're going the faceless route, it's not about you, it's about the cooking. It's not about you, it's about your talents. And it's not about you. If you are in love, that is great. We don't need to see it. Last but not least, Desmond, I hope whatever you wanted out of this situation, I hope you get it. If you wanted out, if you wanted to learn yourself, if you wanted to get to know yourself, if you feel like you fell into being a husband and a father way too quickly and you were too young, I understand it. Especially when you're a Jehovah's Witness, infidelity is really the only way to get out of your marriage. So I know you did the one thing she can't forgive. I just hope you consider emotionally what that will do to your family. But again, this was your decision, and I just hope whatever you want out of this next, that you get it. That's it, y'all.